Hey everyone, it is time for a market update. I want to give you guys an update on what's been going on the last year and then kind of what we're going to be looking to see coming this year with all the things coming as far as changes in interest rates. So there's a lot to cover. Happy New Year, by the way. I'm excited about 2022. I'm hoping that this little variant of COVID is just going to continue get easier and easier to deal with as we go here, and people get back to more to normal. I know we're seeing it here in the DFW Metroplex at least. But excited to be here with you and give you a market update. I have a lot. I'm going to hit you with a lot. Again, talk about last year and then talk about what I expect and what the consensus is out there on the markets for last year. So just mind-blowing numbers for last year's market here in the DFW North Texas area. So we saw 20% more homes built last year, year over year. So coming off of a record year, and that's what we got to remember, 2020 even was a record year in a lot of ways. So more homes, 20% more homes are being built. Homes, so I'm gonna start residential, were built. Home sales were down 4%. So believe it or not, the market transactions were down because of lack of inventory. There just wasn't anything to sell. Something that we're seeing towards the end of the year is that builders were pulling the brakes in on building houses. So while we had a 20% more last year as far as new homes being built, this year, we're already starting to see a pullback. They're not expecting that. And it's not because of demand. It is simply because of backlogs in homes. So let me back up. I'm getting a little confused on my numbers here. So we were down 4% on all home sales. 20% more new homes built last year. And then we had 3,323 new homes that were built or permits that were filed in December, which is down 27% from the year before. So what I'm trying to tell you is that new homes coming to the market are slowing down, and the reason why they're slowing down is because the fact that the supply chain issues, just getting product is still an issue. And then you have labor shortages. So you got labor shortages, supply chains, and then there's just a huge backlog of orders that they're just trying to get that under control because it's just getting out of control. I'm sure they're having heck keeping all their customers happy with these orders that they're taking pre-orders for homes on and not able to deliver the home because of supply chain issues and labor issues. So it's a really tough market to do anything in with these supply chain issues. So Lord willing, we're going to see some supply chain issues get back to normal this year. That's what most people are saying, but I don't think it'll be normal for a while. But it sure would be nice to see people, see the supply chain issues getting back to normal. That'll help a lot of what we're seeing in our real estate markets. Most of the Metroplex saw 20% growth. So, anywhere from 10 to 20%, 2/3 of the Metroplex, DFW Metroplex saw 20% plus. And then some of the other areas were 10 to 20%. But the ones that were 10 to 20% are the areas where you have more room for growth and more room for new construction, like Kaufman County, south of Dallas, the Wilmer Hutchins in south of that area, where there's actually room to build. We're seeing a little less price appreciation because you have a little more inventory, but it's still, the numbers are just astronomical. But on average, 20% plus growth, and that's $100K in price appreciation on average in the DFW Metroplex. Just can't wrap my head. I remember hearing things like that about California many years ago when they were going through their housing boom, and you just have trouble understanding how the mechanics of that work and why it works. But boy, we had the perfect storm set up where that's what we're dealing with. Builders started $16.9 billion in residential construction in the last year in the DFW. That was a 14% increase in home and apartment building from 2020. So new construction investment is coming here to this area. It's actually the top construction investment in the whole country. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area is. Homes for sale at the end of last year, it was 42% below the year before, or I'm sorry, it was 42% below pre-pandemic levels, but inventories are still lower, 5 to 10% lower than what they were last year this time, which I didn't think it could get any lower than last year. So, you know, we just put a home on the market and it's selling for, you know, about 20% more than what we listed it for, and we were hoping for the list price, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's just, there's no inventory. So anything you put out there right now is just getting hammered and getting gobbled up and going over asking price. Cost of, so renting homes. So rental prices have also increased tremendously. Not quite as much as what we've seen in the home price appreciation, but we are seeing it, and it's around 15% increase. So just the cost of living in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is going up. Good news, lowest foreclosure rate in decades. And that's a tribute to our huge job market here, the fact that we did go back to work sooner than others. I believe that has something to do with it, and than other states that may not have. And so, you know, that's it in a nutshell, is that we had huge price appreciation, huge investment into the area, lots of homes being built, but in general, the market was down as far as the amount of single-family residential that was transacted because there's just no inventory. And then I'll give you the forecast for next year after I brief you. I want to go over commercial for last year before I give you what I think, in my opinion, what's going to happen over the next year in residential and commercial real estate markets. So $28 billion was invested into the DFW Metroplex. And we're talking about starts. And the only Metroplex that surpassed that was New York. And that's a record for DFW. We had the fastest growing industrial market and building market, 50 million square feet of construction on the way. We are the mecca for distribution and cloud IT type warehouse space. It's all coming here. I see IT firms, cloud firms, just relocating headquarters here. Just so many businesses are moving this way, and I'm going to hit on that and what that means for us. DFW construction soared 45% in just total construction, only second to New York. We are the biggest real estate investment. We are the biggest real estate investment, period, in the country. There's 47 billion in sales. So when I say we're the biggest real estate investment, is that we're selling buildings here, we're selling existing property, and people are coming in and making those investments. And so we are now the place to invest. Hands down. That record year this year, and that puts us at the top of the market. That's just hard to believe, really, to be honest. We're 77% higher than we were last year's transactions. DFW is the top apartment investment market. with 28 billion in sales. It's just unbelievable what is going on in our commercial markets, and really it's just investment into this area. Warehouse sales were up 72%. So, you know, industrial sales were up 72%, and apartments hit a record high. And so what's leading it is our multifamily sales and development, along with warehouse. Those are the two number one things in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. So, you know, those are just, I just wanted to hit you with a bunch of numbers that it's just mind-blowing things that what's happening in the commercial markets here, what's happening in our residential markets, vacancy rates on rentals, vacancy rates on multifamily are at all-time lows. So great for those of you that already have investment here. And then it's great to sell it too, because people are looking to put their money to work here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So with all that being said, for the residential side, you know, there's a lot of things out there. So what we have coming this year, the windfall this year, is interest rates. And so what are interest rates going to do to our real estate market here? It's up pretty much almost a point, 3/4 of a point than where it was a couple months ago. So we're at about 3.6 on the 30-year fixed mortgage on average. And that was as of today. And so you say, oh, interest rates are up 3.6. Oh my gosh, I remember when we begged for the day to see 3.6. But we're seeing an increase. And so the Fed is planning on raising the Fed funds rate 3 times this year because we're dealing with 7% inflation. They've got to get that under control. So the biggest headwind that we see for the real estate markets is interest rates. How's that going to affect? And that also affects commercial investment for the loans and things pulling out. I don't think it's going to affect commercial investment as much as it is residential home sales and what we see in our market. I don't think we're going to see another 20% year. I think, though, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is being the number one pretty much in every metric now in sales. It insulates us to any corrections that we would normally see in a rising rate environment. So in a rising rate environment, they raise the rates to suppress asset prices. That's what the whole point of it is. And that's what should happen in this rising rate environment. But we have something different here in the DFW Metroplex. We have a pendulum shift where for many years we couldn't get talent here, business here, because there wasn't a talent pool. We didn't have enough, the demographics just didn't work. We didn't have the talent pool for businesses to come here. Well, guess what? Everybody's moving here. COVID accelerated that. And so we have this huge talent. We're known now for having a huge talent pool. So that huge talent pool has shifted the pendulum and bringing in one business headquarter after another. I mean, I can't even keep up with all the businesses moving here. It's just mind-blowing. So what I'm trying to tell you is, while we might see a slowdown from 20%, maybe we get back to more normalized price appreciation, but don't even see that unless maybe they get a little more aggressive than what they have planned on the rising interest rate environment, the Fed fund, the Federal Reserve. So my opinion, and a lot of others' opinion, is that what we're insulated to a correction here because of what we have, the dynamic of all the business and all the people moving to this area, relocating to this area. It's not going to stop. It's going, and if you're in denial of it, you might as well accept it. It isn't going to stop. You're going to move somewhere else if you want to be in a rural area where nobody's coming to, because once the people are here and the talent's here, the business gets here, and then Katie bar the doors. That's what happens. So I think we're going to have a great year in real estate. I'm hoping we're going to see some more inventory to give a little more movement in actual transactions being transacted. But I don't. A lot of people keep asking me, what's going to happen with the interest rates rising? Because that's supposed to lower the prices, and I don't. I just feel like we're insulated. Now, next year, if inflation doesn't get under control, which part of inflation's issue is the supply chain issues, just like the reason why trucks are so expensive is because you can't find one. If they could make them like they used to, I don't think we'd have as much inflation. So if they can get the supply chain and inflation under control, the supply chain situation taken care of, I think that would help the inflation situation, maybe keep the Fed from having to raise rates too quickly to cause what we would see as a correction. And that would be, I would think, next year before we would see something like that. But that's my 2 cents. I hope that helps you. If you need any assistance, please reach out to us. We're a full service real estate firm, top listing firm in the area. We can serve you from commercial, residential transactions. We have a full powerhouse team for each group. And then we also want to serve you with your property management needs. We service commercial and residential with our property management team. So love the opportunity to help you. Reach out anytime if you have any questions. Have a great day. Bye-bye.